Hello, hi there. How are you doing? This is Anna Stropnik coming to you live from Fort Lauderdale. Um, Hope you had a great week. What are you doing? What are your plans for this weekend? Type in where you're watching this from. I would love to say hi. Um, and today my question for you is, do you allow yourself to celebrate your wins? And if this is the first time you're ever watching any of my videos, my name is Anna Stropnik and I help people create a side stream of income working from home, and I also help them reach their time and financial freedom. So let's dive in straight away. Now, are you constantly beating yourself up and think that some of the wins that you have are just not good enough? They're just not making they're not getting you closer to your goal, and they're just not significant enough. So if this is you and you're beating yourself up, I only had signed up one customer this week, but I need, 10. I should really be getting 10 this week. So something like that. So we often do this, and we constantly beat ourselves up, and we don't stop and celebrate our wins. But think of it this way: lots of small wins actually equal to one big win. So it is important that we stop and celebrate. I'm in a group called Rank Makers, and in there it's an awesome group, and I get so much free training in there. It's not even I can't even explain it, how much I love this group. So what we do in this group is we have our Mondays, we set our goals, and then on Friday we celebrate our wins and everything that we accomplished that week. So every single Friday we celebrate in there. So one of my other coaches had taught me when I first started in this profession, in direct selling profession, was to actually celebrate 5 wins every single day, to put a little alarm that will go off at whatever time during the day, where I will just write down on a piece of paper my 5 wins for that day. So it could be something really, really small, I lost a pound, or it could be anything, but you always have to think of the 5 wins that you had that day and really, start celebrating that. So why do I say this? Why is this important? Because what do you think is better? The energy that you have when you're winning, when you are celebrating, is that more attractive, or when you're beating yourself up and you're just being completely unsatisfied? So the way you feel, the way your emotions are, the way you're vibrating, that attracts the same thing. So how often did it happen when you just got a source of income from somewhere, and then another check came from somewhere else that was unexpected, and you just start getting all of this at the same time? It's very likely, right? Or you win a lottery or whatever, and then you get another resource of something that you haven't expected. But when the things go bad, it's usually not just one thing. It's like a domino effect of things that happen. So that's why it's important to always stop and celebrate our wins. Hi Janine, hi Jamie, thank you for watching, guys. Also, I don't know if any of you read or listened to the book Secret, or watched the movie, right? So in this book, they actually talk about how how that vibrational energy works, and how we can attract whatever we want into our lives just with our thoughts and our emotions. And they gave an example there on when you're going to the mailbox, right, to pick up your mail. What is it in there exactly? It's usually bills, right? And so what kind of energy we have when we're just picking up our bills from like, oh, you know, like, oh. But what they say and what they advise in there instead, you know, just think of them, you know, take them, be so happy, be grateful, and say, oh, you know, these are like checks coming in. These are like checks coming in into my name, and be really excited about it. And the lady even goes further in the book, and she says how when she's paying her bills, she has like the best attitude about it, like, oh, you know, just like, you know, when she's paying, it's like she's paying into her account. So if you change that energy, you can actually have things like transform and start coming your way as well. I wouldn't believe this either, but this actually happened to me just like a few months ago, and it was just around the time when I was like thinking about that, and I'm like, well, you know, why don't I do this, you know, like when I pick up my mail and just like start really focusing and thinking how all of these are like the checks coming into my name, and I would be really excited opening my mail. And one day I opened a mail, and I actually received a check for I believe it was like $400. That was like an old medical bill that apparently I overpaid. When does that ever happen? When does that ever happen? It did happen. So, you know, just like, you know, try it, it works. But anyway, I could use another one. So hopefully this was helpful, and hopefully you understand like how important it is to be and like have that energy, because we are in attraction business, you know. We are attracting how we feel, what we are. We are attracting that same energy. So why not be happy, positive, and always winning, right? Then you're gonna attract winners in your teams as well. So hopefully this was helpful. If it was, type in number 1 below in the comments, and I will talk about next about the little catch that we often get caught into as well. So what's the catch? In order to have wins, right, we need to set our goals and take action, and then we have wins. But sometimes what happens, and this is especially true with like, you know, people who like win lotteries and stuff, you know, how many of the stories have you heard of people like winning like millions of dollars, and then like within a year like just losing it all, right? So sometimes we get, and I must say, I will admit, I'm very, very guilty of this. Very, very guilty. So when I have a win, and this is something that I have to train myself, and I have to really, really push myself that I don't fall into this trap, is when we are winning, what do we tend to do? Do we keep going? Do we keep going, or we just, you know, like stop and celebrate, and sometimes celebrate too long, and it takes us forever to get back into that action? So, you know, I can have like a really like great win, and then I'm gonna be like thinking to myself, oh, I'm great, I'm bad, you know, like, yeah, la la la, I'm the best in the world. And then, you know, like the time goes by and I haven't done anything that whole week because I was too busy celebrating. So don't fall into that trap. It's very dangerous. So in order to keep winning, and you know, you will attract more wins when you have that energy. So that's the time when you have, like, when you sign up a customer, when you're like, whatever, you know, whatever you're doing in your work, when you have that like winning spree, you need to just keep going and don't stop, you know. Yes, celebrate, have that energy, but don't stop, right? So let me just give you like one example, how I was trained. So when I was in my 20s, I don't know if you know my background, but I used to work in the spa industry. And when I was 20 years old, I actually left Croatia, which is where I'm originally from, to go work on cruise ships. I got promoted to a spa manager at the age of 21, 22, something like that. So that's what I was doing for 5 years. I was managing spas on cruise ships. And you know how when you're on a cruise, you have 1 week cruises or 10 days or whatever it is. But for us, we would have goals and targets that we had to meet every single week. And especially if we were here close by our office, which was in Miami, we would have our supervisors come on almost every week after the cruise is over to check if we met our targets, if we met our goals. Like, okay, so we would like talk and celebrate, wow, you did excellent, wow, you know, you like made, your team made like $40,000 in 1 week, wow, amazing. But what are you gonna do next week? Can you go for 42? You know, like, it doesn't stay there, it doesn't stop. You have to have that mentality of keep moving, keep striving for more. And then you're like, okay, enough celebrating, of course we can, let's see what we can do. So when you start thinking like that, when you start programming yourself like that, you will never like have those wins and then dips and then wins and then long dips. You know, you just have to keep going, keep going, keep going. So I'm very grateful that I had such a great mentors and managers and supervisors that have taught me this, and you know, like doing that for every single week for 5 years, it creates a habit. So I'm really, really grateful for that. So it explains like my energy and me like not allowing myself to have that dip. So what's another example? Well, do you know like people who were once famous, like one-hit singers or actors, who had like millions and then lost it all? I mean, there's people in the business, there's people in our profession who just did not adopt probably well to like the new ways, and they've lost it all, and they just cannot figure out the way to get back on top. And when you talk to them, all they talk about is what they used to be, and how it used to be. But unfortunately, that's really, really unfortunate. So I hope that was helpful. So stay in that celebrating mode, but don't stop producing. That's my message for you today. So if this was helpful, feel free to share it with anyone, and I hope you all have a great weekend. Bye guys.